Hello, this is Raymond reporting from Voice K. I am currently at the Royal Ontario Museum with Katherine Dunnell. Hi.
Hi Raymond, how are you?
Fine, thank you. So I'm going to ask Katherine a few questions and let's get started. Can you please explain a bit about yourself?
I am a geologist at the ROM and I've been here 18 years and I was asked to be part of this exhibition on Pompeii because the big event in Pompeii is the volcano. So to allow people to understand not only how Romans lived in their lives, but also to understand that how they lived underneath this crazy volcano.
What's your favorite part in this exhibition?
My favorite part, of course, being a geologist, is the volcano. So Mount Vesuvius is a volcano that actually is part of a chain in Italy that erupt about every 50 years. And the last time it erupted was in 1944. So if we do the math, we're sort of due for another eruption from Mount Vesuvius. What's interesting about Mount Vesuvius is that 3 million people live around it now. Whereas before in Pompeii, there was only about 20,000 people and most of them left. So the best thing about Mount Vesuvius now, though, is we know how to monitor volcanoes. So there's seismographs that are monitoring the volcano every single minute of every single day, waiting for pressure to build up, and if it gets too much pressure, they'll evacuate the city. So my favorite part of this exhibition is always going to be the volcano.
Of course, you're the volcano expert.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
So how did you guys get the artifacts?
So the artifacts were offered to us by the museum in Naples, and all of these exhibitions happen like 2 or 3 years in advance. So by the time you guys see it, we've been working on this for a couple years. And so our Greek and Roman curator, Paul Denis, got an email from the people in the Museum of Naples and said they wanted the exhibition to come here. So Paul went to Naples and got to pick a bunch of objects. So 200 of them are here to come to the exhibition, and then everyone carefully packed them all up to ship them, because we ship them by airplane, which is a pretty crazy thing when you think about it, having to pack up things like that show up here. They're big and large, and so packing is really important.
This is Alice reporting from Voice K. Right now I'm at ROM's Pompeii exhibition and it opens till January 3rd. I am here with, what's your name?
Dave.
Dave. He is a visitor at ROM. May I ask you some questions?
You may ask me some questions, please.
Why did you want to come here?
Well, I came here because my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, was really interested in learning about Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius erupting. So that's why we kind of came.
What's your favorite part?
My favorite part? I guess just seeing how people back then lived. That's pretty amazing, like seeing things like the money and seeing you know, what the kind of musical instruments that they had. It's always kind of interesting to see how people lived back then.
Did you bring friends with you?
I brought my brother and he brought his daughter, and I brought my daughter and my son.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
How did the people's forms from Pompeii get preserved?
So it was a really unique environment. The volcano threw kilometers of ash onto these people and then compacted them. So it didn't crush them, but what had happened was all of this very fine-grained material created what we call an anoxic environment, so an environment without oxygen. And so the bodies slowly decayed over time and created these like casts or voids. And it wasn't until they started excavating the site, the Italians decided, when they were hitting these big caverns, they realized that these were actually caverns that were left by imprints of people. And they were finding bones on the bottom. So they were actually pouring plaster into these forms and preserving what these people look like. So they were like negative impressions. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hi, this is Raymond. I'm interviewing Herb.
Herb.
Nice to meet you, Herb.
Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, why did you come to this exhibition? What's the most interesting part?
Well, you know, years ago I visited Pompeii, and it was something really thrilling to see. And now that you have this exhibition here, you're showing us a lot more than what I was able to see at that time. It's a wonderful part of history.
So you've been to Pompeii already?
I was to Pompeii about 8 or 9 years ago.
So what's your favorite part of the exhibition?
Favorite part of the exhibition is sitting here talking with you. It really is. I really enjoy all the ways that Pompeii is presented here.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So, part of this exhibition is about history, but did you learn anything new?
Yes, definitely. I learned quite a lot of things new. Maybe some things I forgot when I originally, was at the site itself. But definitely, it's a wonderful idea that all kids should know what happened to Pompeii on that couple of days when the Mount Vesuvius erupted.
Yeah. So, when you first came into this exhibition, what was your reaction?
My God, how many kids are here today? That was my first reaction. Secondly, the enormity of the display.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Herb.
Yes. So what we know is about 90% of the people in Pompeii we think actually left. So it was just after lunch and people were just kind of digesting, and all of a sudden it got really dark and things started to sort of like explode or out of the volcano. So a lot of people at that point decided they were going to pack up pack up their belongings and leave. And so a lot of people did leave. The people that they found in the excavation site, there are about 1,150 bodies that they found, but they haven't excavated all of Pompeii, so there might be more bodies. So that number, 90%, is a pretty rough estimate.
Oh dear, that must hurt.
Well, these people, when they got hit with the sort of pyroclastic surges, didn't have a lot of time to think. These waves of heat hit them and then they died instantly. So if you're going to die, it's probably an easy way to die. Gross, but it is what it is.
So, I read that the Pompeii wasn't discovered until over 1,600 years later. How did you discover all the details about Pompeii?
So what they've figured out is people were actually going to Pompeii when it was covered. They knew it was there, but they kind of forgot about it. And it wasn't until one of the kings decided he wanted objects for his home to decorate that they started excavating Pompeii. But it was tomb raiders that were going in and taking objects from Pompeii. And then it wasn't until later that Italian archaeologists started to excavate the site specifically and in a more sort of specific and scientific way.
So, why did you come here?
So I've heard about Pompeii, and I knew that there was a Pompeii exhibit, so I came to learn more about the Pompeii exhibit, like Pompeii.
Would you tell your friends to come?
Yeah, it's really good so far.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
I like learning about like how it was different back then and how the volcano sort of like ruined everything.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Hello, this is Raymond reporting from Voice K. This is a section where people can actually try on robes and be like Pompeians before they were destroyed. So, yeah.
I think it'd be a Roman. Yes, Roman.
Well, Romans, yeah. Do dance.
What's your favorite part?
The dead people.
Why do you think the dead bodies were like very interesting?
It's because they look like people stuck inside rocks.
Thank you for your
The
time.
cities had high heat. But what happened with Pompeii and why it was so special is the prevailing wind blew all of the ash out of this volcano.
She is the volcano expert and a curator at. Sorry, can I restart that?
You're almost there.
Hey, Curator.